Welcome back to Turner Tools, EdTech tips and tricks to help you work smarter, not harder. Today we'll be talking about PearDeck question types. All right, we're going to be talking about question types. And so I thought a first place to start would be to show you what they actually look like in real time. And then we'll go through each of the questions. All right, so I'm just going to skip that. All right, so this is one of our first question. These are the question types that we have. We're going to go through each of the question types. So, text, choice, number, website, draw, and draggable. Those draw and draggable items, those are going to be the ones that are going to be the premium items, but you all should have access to that, so you should be good to go. All right, so the first one that we're going to talk about is the draggable questions. So what it looks like is it allows the student to actually drag the items on the screen to the correct item on the screen. So in real time, you're able to see that. So I'm going to show responses on this one so you can actually see it in real time. So the only challenge with this one is that students are going to do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is playing with those items. So after I've given them enough time to think about their selection, I will lock the screen, and that makes it so that the students can't keep moving all those items around when I'm trying to check to see if everyone is with us. So another one could be to drag the flag to our state. And so I can, again, that's just another way to drag things around. Another way might be to drag this line. Drag the icon on the scale as to where they are feeling today. So that can help us check in with students that might be having a rough day today, or give them the space and time that they need. This one's another draggable. And then we can immediately see, and you'll notice that when I show all of the answers, there isn't a name attached to it. So in this view, no names would be attached. So you could show the entire class's responses without names. All right, and there's also a graphing, and you might not be able to see this quite clearly, but there actually is graph paper here that the students can use to graph their answer. So that is a drawing one. All right, another drag the dot one. And again, another drag. So it's either an icon or a dot or dragging it along a line. Those are going to be pretty consistent in how those look. All right, so we're going to go back to the edited version of PearDeck, and I'm going to show you what that looks like when we're actually putting one in. So it's right here, it's the draggable, and it gives us several options. So it's going to show you a preview about what it could look like, and then it is going to give you some options. You can change the color, so maybe you want it to be green. And then you have some options under the dot, under the symbols, so that works for math and science. And then we have numbers, and we have some fun little creatures, and then a few more. So there aren't a ton of options, but there are quite a few. So I haven't found that I needed additional items. It isn't something that you can change the... Like if you want a special icon, it's not something that you can upload your own into this. We can also increase the size of that dot as well. And then once we're done, we update the slide. So whatever is on the slide, you can choose, you can customize that slide. And then this is the thing that we're really, really looking at. I'm just going to close that for a minute so we can see it larger. This gray bar, which doesn't look gray right here, but this gray bar, that is what makes the interactivity for PearDeck. Okay? All right. So Then we also, in the draggable, you could drag more than one item. So maybe you have a list of events in social studies or a book or science or really anything. It could be, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is the order of operations for math. It could be whatever you want it to be, but you could have them drag those numbers over to put those events in chronological order. So that's another way that you can use that drag function. Again, this is actually a template, and I'll show you where those are, but these are just text. It's just text that is written on this slide. And then we're just adding that interactive component. All right, you saw a little sneak peek because I had it out of order of a drawing one. But this is another type of drawing one, and it's actually draw a line. So it's draw that line to the correct response. So for matching. So this is great for languages. And you'll notice that the drawing feature has this drawing palette down below that they're able to either use a pencil, a highlighter, a line, text, or an eraser. So if I use that pencil, I can put those dots on there wherever they might be, and then you can see that in real time. So you would see each person's response, either one-to-one, or this will kind of have them all laid out all next to each other. So that is a good option for you. And again, this is another one with I can't say that word today, but the order of different dates. And so you can actually have them draw lines to put the events in chronological order. And so that's another drawing one. For English, we could have them type in, so they can actually click on the T and they can actually type in there. And so it'll just bring up this little type box. And then it will actually appear right there. And so they can actually type into a little graphic organizer. So that's another, but they can also draw it. So it's like 2 for 1. That's I like the drawing slides because it gives options for the way the student might want to utilize the computer for that. Again, this also works on iPad as well. So the drawing feature would work really well on that iPad for me, but the students, they have no problem with those trackpads. Some of the stuff that students have done creating artwork on trackpads definitely leaves me in the dust. So they can also draw a picture. So that's just a complete picture, have all their colors, and do that way. And then this one's another ELA one. This is to draw or type your thoughts on the topic in the head. So this really gives some cool options as to the creativity that you can use on the slide that you're having the student use. This one's for the littles. This one is actually a really cool one to use for K through 2. So we have different options from like high school level, but also for the littles as well. All right, so we're going to go back to PearDeck and we're going to open up my add-ons, if I can see them for a second. There we go. And we're going to add in a text drawing question. And all it's going to do is it's going to just update the slide. So you're going to have to put whatever it is you want them to draw on, or in this case, it would just be a blue screen with the word drawing. So you have to create that slide or use one from the template library, which we'll talk about. So like I said, these are what these drawing slides looked like on this side of the editing version. Okay. All right, let's go back to our presentation and let's talk about text-based. So text-based is just like drawing in that you have to put whatever on the slide that's going to let them know what it is they have to write about. So in this case, this is a template slide, and it has a student write their response. They just click the answer here, and then they'll just answer the question. Now please note that although this is very small on my screen, it would be the, the entire screen. So I'm just going to do that for a moment. So you'll see that they see both the slide and then they also see the answer here. The only reason why they don't in this version is because I have minimized it so that we can see both the presentation screen and the student answer screen at the same time. All right, so we have another one that gives us a response. So different ideas that you can do. You could do this as a bell ringer, so have them write something during a bell ringer. But then also this one I just created myself. It just is a blank white slide with white text. That's it. I just put a text box in there, and we can see that right here. It's just a text box, and I just typed in what it is that I wanted to add in, and then I clicked the text button because that's what we have to do. You have to add that interactivity to the slide that you want interactivity on. You don't have to have interactivity on every single slide. I just do in this presentation, almost all of them, except I don't on all of my title slides. So you don't have to add interactivity to every single slide. You can just add it to those slides that you feel that you need that interactivity for. All right, back to our slides. You can also have them do text in different places. All right, so we can do that. So we're just going to maximize that out. And so they might put number 1 if they would have to write a response to that, number 2 and number 3 if they had to do a response for each one. So we can do it that way. All right, so number slides. So you can actually have the response have to be a number. So this is estimation, so this is for math. So maybe they write that. And then we can see the responses, and it's going to give us it on a number line. So that's really interesting to talk about those number lines with students and that estimation and all of those items. So great way to actually visualize the answers. All right, so you can also embed a website. So this one, it's actually just going to have the students click on this link and go and open up a new tab. This one is going to have you actually go to Kahoot. And so I click on it, and then there is the Kahoot screen, and I can put in that game code, and I'm immediately in. Okay? So that's really easy to do. Sometimes Kahoot will be right in the screen so they don't have to go someplace else. So, but in this case, this is how they're right here. The kids could just click on that, and it goes right to Kahoot for you. Very, very easy. And then the last one is audio. Oh, let me show you how we actually do that embed and the number. So right here is the number. So I'll put that one on this one. So we can add. So again, just like the text slide, just like the art slide, the draw slide, it's just adding it to the slide. There's nothing else that needs to be done other than you need to put whatever it is you want them to estimate right on that slide. For the website, you do have to add some additional information, and that is that you have to add the URL. Okay? So what it looks like for the student, and I'm going to go back to this one, is that you'll notice that it has my slide right here, but it also has embedded the Kahoot game. So I can enter, and now they can actually, I think it's because I closed out the Kahoot, but they would actually be able to play the Kahoot game right within the PearDeck, which is really, really cool. that's why I particularly like the embed feature. I haven't tried it with all of the different games on the websites, but definitely something to try out as you're exploring. So something I didn't go into a ton with is the template gallery, and I'm going to let you guys go and explore that and see all the different types of questions that you can use. These are all, instead of us having to create the slide and add the interactivity, these ones are already created for you. So you can go explore that and see what you think about that. The last item that I will share with you is that you can actually add audio to the slide. So that was really nice for me during when I had students that were remote, because I could give them instructions on a slide. It didn't even have to necessarily be a PearDeck with an interactivity, but it could be that I was just adding audio to the slide. So if I load the audio recorder, they would still view it through PearDeck, but the only interactivity would be that I added audio. So I just hit record and I start recording whatever it is I want to record. And done. And save the audio to the slide and add it to the current slide. So you'd be adding audio to each slide. So that's what I really like, as opposed to like using PowerPoint or something like that that allows you to record audio on. I like that you can actually add it to each individual slide, because I find that I make mistakes if I have to record the entire presentation in one go. So that's really nice. So check out some of these really cool items that we have in PearDeck. You have all of these templates, and you have some sponsored content through Everfly. So really check out and take some time to really look at what is available for PearDeck and start creating your own interactive content today. Good luck! Thank you for tuning in to Turner Tools. Remember to like and subscribe. I hope you learned something new to help you make awesome happen. Have a fabulous day.